this is not just a conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. Mm-hmm. This is a part of the world that's very evocative to people from around the world. Mm-hmm. So it is the birthplace of Judaism. It is the birthplace of Christianity. And it has been a holy place for Muslims since the very first days of Islam. And so you have literally billions of people around the world that have their own attachments to this place, right? And so what happens is that it's a foreign policy challenge for the United States government, but it functions more like a domestic political issue because we care about it. But the problem has been is that we often channel our passion for this and our concern about it in ways that are very mirroring of the conflict itself. So a lot of Americans who are pro-Israel, and many, many are, especially Christians, actually what that looks like in the way they define to being pro-Israel is very anti-Palestinian. And there are growing voices in some parts of the Christian community, but particularly like on college campuses and progressive politics in places like that are very pro-Palestine. And sometimes that activism also is working itself out in ways that are very anti-Israel. And so the point of that is that we're creating just not people that are trying to help solve the conflict, but we're interjecting into the conflict in ways that just mirror it and actually help perpetuate it. Conflict is an inevitable part of the human experience, and conflict is not bad. It's sometimes the way that we bring synthesis to something. We need to go through the sorting out of something to get to a better place. So peacemaking is the way to deal with conflict that allows you to do it in ways that create a better reality. That's the thing. It's not the idea of avoiding conflict. People sometimes think if you're a peacemaker, well, you just want everybody to get along. And so you just avoid conflict. It's actually the opposite of that, but it's the way you deal with it, because peacemaking is always about the pursuit of justice, because peace and justice are inexorably intertwined, but it's the pursuit of justice with an orientation toward healing and reconciliation. So you can pursue justice all day long and feel actually pretty good about yourself for doing it. And it can even breed a self-righteousness. And justice can be just another name for revenge if it's not held in tension with mercy and love, right? So, but if you're pursuing justice oriented toward reconciliation, then you're doing the work of peacemaking, and you're taking on conflict in a way that even allows your neighbor to be transformed.
Do I really want for my neighbor or my enemy neighbor what I would want for myself? That is a really hard question to answer, but I think that's a really good starting place too, if we really want to follow the heart of Jesus.
I totally agree. I mean, Jesus said, love God and love neighbor. Those are the top two, and everything that we do has to filter through that. So whatever our theologies are about the end times or covenant or social justice, or what our political ideologies are, progressive or conservative, all of that, you can hold different opinions on all of that. I honestly believe Christians you can be a Democrat or Republican, you can you can be amillennial or postmillennial or premillennial or some other thing on eschatology. You have all these different kinds of views, but every one of those has to be filtered through what Jesus said about, does it work itself out in ways that are demonstrating I love God and I love my neighbor, and even if my neighbor is an enemy. And if it doesn't work itself out in that way, then somehow we're doing it wrong. We've got to figure out how to do it differently, because we have too often allowed our own Christian faith to be weaponized against people who are vulnerable. And it's true in issues here in America at times, and it's certainly been true in the Middle East.